Hello, hello, Otafest listeners. I'm Angelo, and I'm here with Nancy and Jay for Season 8, Episode 4 of the Otafest podcast.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yes.
Hi, peoples.
I'm so pleased that you're joining us here, but make sure to join Amanda, Jay, and Bayfar as they continue playing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Randomizer, Pictionary Edition. For extra life, Bayfar draws clues. Jay deciphers those clues to try and defeat Ganon. And Amanda will be busy just trying to keep everyone and everything together while trying to raise $1,000. There will be at least one more stream on October 3rd at 6 p.m. to support a good cause and have a good laugh at twitch.tv/Otafest.
Woo woo!
Yeah. So we did, as we all will, we always do like tests and not with the same seed or anything like that. Just wanted to make sure that we had the tech back end all figured out because there's lots of bits to do with like who needs to be muted, who can see chat, what's the stream going to look like, all that kind of stuff. And we did a quick test stream, maybe like 15 minutes of me playing while Bayfar was like trying to figure out what he could draw and things like that. Mm-hmm. It was pretty chaotic. So I think you're in for a good time.
I am looking forward to it.
I feel like the set of what Bayfar can draw and the set of what Bayfar should draw is there's a lot of difference between those sets.
The Venn diagram is two circles.
Oh no!
and they touch just ever so slightly.
They kiss just a little bit.
But it is like, it's more like my interpretation of things. I'm just like, I remember just looking at the screen being like, I don't know what that is. But I do note that I have this habit of, while I'm trying to decipher what he was like drawing, I will still be playing without looking at my screen. So I'm just like wandering off. I fell off cliffs. I died.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Because I'm just like, it's the epitome of like distracted driving.
Distracted driving.
Looking at another screen while trying to control something. So
I don't know if either of you saw this, but a little while ago, Bayfar and I were just like messing around on stream, and he decided to make like a fake Otafest commercial with like, he just took something that I said. He took it. He asked an AI to write a commercial for Otafest. I read it out loud in like a wrestling voice, and then he just like drew a whole bunch of MS Paint bits to go with it, and I was the person who read the text, and I could barely keep up with the visuals. I was like, what was that? What was that? Is that a stick person? What is happening?
Oh my God, that sounds wonderful. If you could find the Twitch clip of that, I would love it.
It's somewhere around there because I know he pulled it off of Twitch and then he made a TikTok out of it.
Glorious.
Yep.
sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what else is a good time?
The fall season preview.
Sure is.
Autumna.
The autumnal preview of what's happening in the anime world. So as usual, we chose shows that weren't just season 2s or extra seasons of an existing show, trying to give new shows a chance. And as usual, we all chose with kind of the group as our audience. You know how when you choose movies to watch with your friends, you kind of choose what you and your friends might like watching together?
That.
Yeah, exactly that. So
I don't always watch what I think will be good, or I don't always choose what I think will be good. I often choose what I think will be fun.
Yeah, I think you've both noticed, I often pick things that are like, I want to give this a chance because I want it to be good.
It's like the time that Jay and I watched Cats, I made sure to get the bootleg version, like a really bad cam rip that had like the missing special effects.
Oh no!
But then how could we see cat buttholes?
No!
Apparently even the most broken editions still had the buttholes removed.
Oh,
they need to release the butthole cut.
Yeah.
They never will.
That's the Snyder edition.
It's the Snyder
For cuts.
version of
It's the
Cats,
Snyder
the
cut.
butthole cut.
Oh my gosh. The
God,
Cat's
I
Adventure.
wish I could. I wish I could forget more of that night.
Yes. Same.
But hopefully nothing that we've chosen will be quite as bad as that. Or X-Arm.
I mean, I feel like we generally choose a couple of winners, then we choose some mediocre ones that no one cares about, and then we choose ones that no one will ever want to watch ever, and you just wonder why they were ever made. But
We do occasionally choose ones like that, but it's still
happens.
interesting to experience together as a group of friends.
Yes. But we're going to start off strong. We're going to start off with probably the favorite of the season, one of the most hyped animes. Hopefully, not the most hyped anime of the season, but we're talking about the one, the only, Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man, animated by Studio Mappa, an action comedy. Denji is a teenage boy living with a chainsaw devil named Pochita. Due to the debt his father left behind, he's been living a rock-bottom life while repaying his debt by harvesting devil corpses with Pochita. One day, Denji is betrayed and killed as his consciousness fades. He makes a contract with Pochita and gets revived as Batman. Chainsaw Man. A man with a devil's heart.
first
Okay.
impression, based off of everything I'm seeing here, because as always, we kind of have the art, like the promo art, and then of course the description, as you all heard. It's bloody. It's a little Evil Dead. Ash with his chainsaw hands.
So I've not read the manga at all. I've kept myself pure waiting for the anime to come out because I've heard only amazing things.
Okay.
Only amazing things about it. Extremely violent, extremely gory, bloody, and nobody can decide if no one can decide who's best girl. When the fan base is divided.
I didn't know there was best girl in a chainsaw anime. I would have just thought that there would be best chainsaw. And the first thing I thought as well was like this chainsaw devil named Pochita. I was just like, is that supposed to be a reference to Makita, which is like a Japanese brand of power tools? I was like,
I was wondering about that.
It probably works a lot better than Black and Decker.
McDonald's.
yeah.
Oh,
way
boy, I
better
can't
than
wait.
Mastercraft, you know?
I mean, it's actually true. I have Makitas downstairs. They are better in my
Built
humble
different.
opinion. Built different.
Or helping you to build
built
different.
the Japanese way.
Yeah. It looks interesting.
Interesting.
I don't know if there's enough description almost. Like, I feel like it makes it sound more generic than it should almost. Does that make sense?
Yes, kind of, sort of. Like, when it came to Jujutsu Kaisen, if you remember, basically all we got out of the description was that it was toe-licking good. And when it came to Licorice Recoil, we basically got nothing useful out of the description.
True.
Yep, true.
So, realistically, while it's very basic, while it's very threadbare, it tells you everything you need to know. All you know is that Denji said, "I will become Chainsaw Man," and then he became Chainsaw Man.
Because his parents got dead.
Well,
His
just
parents,
his dad.
his father is dead.
Well, we don't know.
Actually, we don't know.
His
All
parents
we
are
know is
dead
that
or
It
not.
his
just says
father left
due
the debt
to
behind.
the debt his father left behind. Yeah, that's not
His
necessarily.
dad could have bailed on them.
Maybe his dad went out for milk. You never know. Because when you die, your debt doesn't get passed down to your next of kin. Your debt can be held against your estate. So they can take like your house, your car, whatever to pay off whatever's debt. But the debt doesn't pass to next of kin. I'm
Well, it
fairly
could-
certain that's the same way in Japan.
I was gonna say, like, we're assuming Canadian law for.
Canadian law, man.
No, man. Oh boy.
I'm looking forward to watching the first episode. I think
Yeah.
it would be interesting enough.
I'm going to be watching that. I already know it's going to be something I'm watching.
Nancy, do you think you'll join us?
I mean, it's my honorable duty as part of the Otafest podcast crew to do our season review after we've gone through a chunk of the season. I'm not a huge gore fan, as most of you know, but I will still watch it. I will probably be yelling "ew" a lot and possibly closing my eyes a bunch, but that's
Fair.
okay.
Do it.
Because what's compelling to me is if they do it with a good story. If it's just gore and violence without something of substance backing it, then it's pretty easy to dismiss. If it's just gratuitous violence, then I'm just like, I'll pass for the rest of the show.
Also
Fair.
We'll see.
Sounds fun.
Who would like to take the next entry?
I'll do it. Even though I
Jay
don't
will do
watch
it.
no Gundam, but this is a Gundam.
Goddamn, Jay's gonna do it.
Next up, we have Kido Senshi Gundam Suisei no Majo. Sunrise is our animation studio of choice here. It's not surprisingly a mecha and sci-fi anime. Weird.
Gundam
Gundam is
romance
mecha?
Really?
Let me tell you more. A.S. That means add Stella. 122 long hyphen. An era when a multitude of corporations have entered space and built a large, maybe even huge, economic system. A lone girl from the remote planet Mercury transfers to the Astacasia School of Technology, run by the Benerit Group, which dominates the mobile suit industry. Her name is Suletta Mercury. With a scarlet light burning in her pure heart, this girl walks step by step through a new world.
I'm excited about this one.
I watched the trailer prelude of this. Like, what was it, like a month ago when it was released? It made me feel feelings.
So there's
watch it.
already an OVA that's out for this. You can actually watch it for free on YouTube. Like
Oh.
Sunrise themselves uploaded it to YouTube. I haven't watched it yet.
The English subtitle is The Witch from Mercury.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
And
think
so
it sounds I'm not much for the political intrigues of Gundam. I don't hate it, but I just never was like. I like big Gundam go pew pew pow pow.
I live for
Big
the good action
blues.
scenes.
I love that.
that's
This
really the way.
Seems a little bit more interesting to me, honestly.
That's really the way that Gundam do. Very rarely is Gundam just big robots doing big robot things. It's usually using the big robots as a vehicle for something else. And this kind of looks like just a cute girls doing cute things with robots in the background. No, that's wrong. It doesn't look like cute girls doing cute things. It does look like there's cute girls in it. But I really like the animation design that they're going with, the art design, I should say. And this is, as far as I can tell, a timeline that is not tied in with any other Gundam franchise. Like usually if it was tied into the original Gundam, you'd see like UC, Universal Century, 00
yeah.
something or other. Or like Gundam Wing was AF after, or AC after Colony. And so this looks like something new. If you've been looking to get into a Gundam anime, this is probably a pretty good one to start with.
It does
So-
seem a little bit more like a standalone / reboot almost. I don't know how to describe it, but there's definitely different vibes than your standard Gundam anime.
Yeah.
Though I'm sure it will offer, many of the trappings and expectations of a Gundam anime. I think the character development might be a big focus.
All I know
just the big picture
is if we don't get some extremely handsome masked villain, I will feel cheated.
I am very excited to see some hopefully strong female character writing. We'll see.
I'm excited for multiple different reasons. I don't know if I'm going to like it. Like, I'm a big Gundam fan. At the same time, there are some Gundam series that I just can't get into. So
I want robot.
Let's hope for good robot. I want good robots doing good roboting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same.
Nancy?
All right. Next up, we've got Do It Yourself by Studio Pine Jam. It is a slice of life. Building furniture and friendships have a lot in common. Intention, effort, and hard work are needed for both crafts. This is a story of girls in a DIY club building both as... This is a story of girls in a DIY club building both as they carve out their futures. None of it comes easy, but that doesn't stop any of them. Furniture, friendships, and the future. They're building it all with their own hands.
That's 3 Fs.
This has to be cute girls doing cute things. This can't fail me the way that Ars Notoria did.
This really looks like cute girls doing cute things with power tools. I love the art style in the trailer. Like, it is so comfy looking. The backgrounds have like a watercolor feel to it. The character designs themselves are a little bit more simple. As far as I can tell, the animation's actually looking pretty good.
How the hell did we get 2 power tool animes in the same season?
With completely different vibes, nonetheless.
You don't know that. We're not sure that they're completely different vibes.
I mean,
who knows what happens once these girls break out the chainsaw?
We can only judge based off of what we see in the trailers.
If all I know is that if my woodshop teacher has taught me anything, as soon as these girls break out the table saw, Chainsaw Man will not be able to animate as much blood as that will give us.
Fingers crossed that safety is actually a very important part of this.
I think it will be. I'm pretty sure it will be.
It's definitely an interesting looking show. I think there's like it's going to be the sort of low-key, happy-go-lucky, slice of life, K-On-esque sort of feel, except power tools instead of music.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I've got.
Hoping.
That's what I think
that.
has it going for it. But we'll see. We'll see if there's some kind of tonal whiplash in there somewhere.
The dark undertones of high school woodshop. Dun dun dun.
Everyone knows that every school club
undertones.
ever always has drama. So we'll see what drama comes with this one.
The
dark
drama is when they
undertones.
procure their like woods and they're all warped and they're just like, God,
God.
damn this supplier. They only sell me woods with knots and they're warped. It's the worst. And then they're like, don't you know I have this chainsaw?
Our saws aren't sharp enough to cut through oak. We ordered poplar.
Actually, something that I do want to see in this, even though I don't think it will be the case, I would love to see like wood joinery, like Japanese,
like
the
Japanese
traditional.
wood joinery?
Yeah. That stuff is the
I watch
you
videos
see
of
the-
like specific kinds of
when you see the
joining-
joints, just
wow. And they're so perfect.
love it.
Yes. That style of building is just very
Chef's
satisfying.
kiss. Mwah. So cool.
What else is hopefully cool is NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. I mean, AQ Shonen, Eternal Boys, the Mature Idol Project. Studio, Leiden Films, a comedy. The latest project proposed by Manpaku Entertainment Productions in a bid to revive the company. Experienced in the successes and failures of the business world, 6 middle-aged men now face the many hurdles of age and physical ability, whilst pursuing their goal to become idols, in an effort to prove that old dogs can learn new tricks, and that you can still learn to shine no matter your age. These middle-aged men, in the end of their ropes, are taking a stand. I did not realize that's what it was going to be about, but now that I look closer at the picture, that makes sense. It looked like high school boys at first, but I see one of them has like a receding hairline.
Oh, I didn't
I
notice.
think one of them, I can't tell because it's a very small picture, but does one of them have a mustache? No, they don't.
I mean, I just took the title and threw it up into the Googs.
I hope this isn't a situation where Japan is pretending like 23 is middle-aged.
I hope so too.
They look, I would say, like 30, which I suppose is middling. I don't know. I threw a picture of the cast.
They have that short eye line that's like drawn under the eyes of some of the characters to be like,
To indicate
these characters are not getting enough sleep.
My gosh, we're gonna draw some eye bags on you, and now you're aged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't normally watch idol shows.
I don't either, but I kind of like the premise of it.
I do. This is like the kind of stuff that older weebs
I
might
know.
need in their life.
Exactly. It sounds like it could be a really good, heartwarming story, and it is hopefully going to overcome some stereotypes and some of the darker sides of the idol industry, like even just being middle-aged is like, you're too old for the industry. Discard.
I like the do you see the one in the top right? Not the image that I posted, but in the original poster.
The one with the
There's
bowl
like the
cut?
guy that no, he's like doing this, like the little bunny ears.
Yeah, he's got a
kind
bowl
of thing.
cut.
I think it's hilarious because it just makes me think that they're obviously going to be pulled in different like marketing directions for the reunification of their group or the revival of their group, where it's going to be like, you need to appeal to the young people. And it's like, but what about all our existing fans that we already have? It's like, no, you're going to have to do these things in order to stay relevant, damn it.
You need to appeal to the TikTok generation.
So there's the guy with the bunny ears, and then there's also the guy who's holding a rose. I guess he's going to be the Prince Charming type because he's got his hair dyed blonde.
Mm-hmm.
I can't super make out the rest of them. The rest of them are just in super dynamic poses.
One of them looks like he wants to fight you.
Yeah. He's
The
got
top
the
left.
receding hairline. There's one who's just like in a generic Genki pose. One
Yeah.
who
Doesn't look
looks
like he knows what he's
trying to rap, but also doing lunges at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, like trying to get your daily cardio,
doing. A little
and get your daily
awkward dad
exercise in.
pose. Oh, I really hope that some of these people are dads.
Yeah,
Oh.
that too. I hope
I
some
Oh,
of
is
really
this
these
going
are
to be the
dads.
DILF anime?
Is this going to be Dream Daddy plus plus? The idol
I
project?
really believe that's not going to be the case because idol culture hates people who have relationships or had relationships.
No, I would say that this would be different just because the expectation is that they're older. It's one thing if they were like, and it sounds like they're coming back as opposed to they remained popular into their middle age, like sort of like an Andy Lau situation.
I don't
This
know.
is-
It
this
says
sounds like-
pursuing their goal to become idols.
Yeah, I was under the impression it's more like, they've been like teachers and bartenders and who knows, maybe in a construction or call center. And now they're becoming
But then
idols.
there's an expectation that they're old, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's no expectation of like that purity of youth kind of idea. So
It's
I feel
entirely
like it won't be.
possible some of them were on track to have idol training.
Yeah.
They could be expected to be 40-year-old virgins.
God.
6 whole Steve Carells. Is that his name?
I don't know. This is why I want to watch it. I just want to watch it to see what of the idol tropes have made it and which ones were discarded.
Unfortunately, probably all of them are in there and none of them are discarded.
We will see.
True.
We will see. I do enjoy the fact that they're skewing the audience here to clearly be for like middle-aged men who want to become idols, not
Are you sure the audience is middle-aged men and not middle-aged women?
Could be either, really.
I really feel like this is going to be more Fujoshi aimed.
Maybe.
I
Who
really,
knows?
I kind of am looking forward to the first episode just to see where this goes. I have no actual interest in idol anime, neither, none of us do, but it might be just an interesting enough premise. So hopefully we get something stupid, funny out of it.
The only time I've been tricked into watching idol anime so far was Zombieland Saga. And this ain't got zombies in it, I tell you what.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Are we
But
still
for
going in
something-
order?
Yeah, for something a little more thematic, Jay. What do we got?
Yeah. So it is the season of the spook, and therefore we add the spook. We have Si Danchi by Akatsuki Studios. It's a horror anime. Housing Complex C centers around Kimi, who lives in a small low-cost housing complex located in the seaside town of Kurosaki, where trouble seems to follow her wherever she goes, and horrific incidents begin to occur. Is an ancient evil stalking the residents of housing complex C?
So I'm going to answer that question right away, and considering they never brought up ancient evils anywhere else in the description, probably yes.
This literally gave like nothing away.
Mm-hmm.
We know where it takes place. We know that horrible things are happening. And that's it. Clearly, it's angling towards the ancient evil curses or something supernatural with that last line, but it's like, oh, maybe it isn't.
It looks like your standard sort of B or C level Japanese movie, like horror movie, but in animated form. Like everything about the trailer made me think it's very much just that.
Maybe it's just like Danganronpa mixed with Higurashi. Everyone's locked in a housing complex, but not suddenly there's an ancient evil.
I'm looking at the poster and like the center of the silhouette cutout looks very happy.
Well, probably because they're jumping from a very high height. I don't think that's supposed to be a happy kind of jump.
Yeah, I feel
It
like that's
looks
someone's
particularly
possessed and they're going to jump kind of thing.
I guess. But if I were not reading this description and just like
Sure,
looking at a
yeah.
poster,
It looks like the girl who leapt through time almost. That's what it reminds
Almost.
me of.
Now, when it comes to horror anime, unfortunately, anime does not have a good track record.
Yeah.
I legitimately cannot think of a horror anime that has ever actually scared me. There are a couple good ones out there, like Blood the Last Vampire, the movie, not any of the series. None of the series, just the one movie, was good. Not scary, but good. Shiki, the vampire anime, it's a slow burn. You have to really commit to it because the first 9 episodes are boring as hell. But then it gets really good. Not scary, though.
I mean,
another.
people have different tolerances for horror, for one thing. I get where
True.
you're coming from.
But
But I would also even argue that there's not that many good horror in general. Like for it to just be good.
fair.
Scary? Well, a lot of people find different things scary. But actually good? Hard to pull off. Anime good for an anime form? Even fewer. So I don't know.
I have low expectations, to say the least.
Because I'm not a horror person, I don't really know if I have any expectations or standards for this one. I'm actually genuinely surprised when you both say that there are very, very few good horror anime, because I feel like something as visual and freeing as animation like this should be able to, illustrate horrifically, traumatizingly terrifying things, and you're telling me that it really doesn't.
So, when it comes to horror, I usually have no issue with the visuals that I'm presented. Usually that's not the issue. I think part of it is just North American horror standards versus Japanese horror standards are very different.
Oh,
yeah, and they're
I
based.
see.
They tend to be based in different traditions or different cultural understandings. So that could be part of the issue. I would also say that horror actually encompasses quite a large, genre in a sense. Like when you say horror, there's so many different types. I tend to think that the best ones, or maybe it's just my preference, are probably things like psychological horror. So like thrillers, something like Higurashi, which is very popular, would qualify. Like there's definitely a lot of scenes in there that are probably like skin crawling, to say the least, for people. Like when they see like, let's say the torture scenes that
That's
happened
fair.
and whatnot, right? But
That's
it doesn't
fair.
have to be horrific throughout. It does not have to be terrifying throughout. It doesn't have to have jump scares or all that kind of thing. So it's just part of it is expectations, part of it is cultural. But the way that I think in anime things tend to play out, as more like dark fantasy type things, like Jugoku Shoujo, or oh no, I can't remember his name right now. This hole is made for me.
Yes. Junji Ito.
Yeah, Junji Ito, where a lot of that is also still psychological horror, as opposed to like there's a monster or there's a like ancient horror, like this one is describing,
Man.
So
There was a Junji Ito anime, and it was so disappointing.
I think it's just the medium as well. Like manga might work better.
In the case of the Junji Ito anime, it really was an issue where it was the stories becoming anime that was the problem. When they're like written or drawn, the detail is like Junji Ito has an art style. And that art style does not translate to animation very easily.
And not even just an art style, but the way the pages are actually laid out and the paneling is laid out, I think makes a big difference in the shock value that is being delivered.
And the anime, it didn't have the punches, the punchiness where it was required. It didn't have the right pacing for a lot of things. The art style was simultaneously too colorful and too goofy. Like it just didn't mesh well. Having that said, there's a Junji Ito Uzumaki adaptation that's happening at some point, and I'm just hoping it's good. Or at the very least, I'm hoping it's not bad.
Wow.
Junji Ito horror is like one of the few Japanese horrors that translate pretty well for a North American audience. And I just want it to be done justice.
Fair.
Very fair.
But again, point stands. I'm actually quite surprised. But the cultural translation bit does make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know really the last horror type anime that I really cared for. I think Higurashi must have been it, and that's a solid 10 to 12 years ago for original Higurashi.
If you do like Higurashi, there was Higurashi no Nakokoro ni Go, like 2 years
Pokemon
ago.
Go?
GOU.
Oh.
To my understanding, it was actually a sequel to the Higurashi series.
Uh-huh.
So if you watched all of the previous Higurashi or played the games, This season, Higurashi Go develops Rika's character more, to my understanding.
Interesting.
Honestly, I couldn't make it through Higurashi. I do not like that story format.
That's fair. I like the original. I never delved into all the side projects because Higurashi is quite popular. It's a bit of a cult classic kind of thing. I don't really remember. I was just looking at when it actually first released. I think it was close to 2010, 2011 kind of. So I think
I think
was
the
pretty
first anime was around there, or
Yeah.
even earlier. The
the
visual
anime
novel,
was
I think,
probably
was
earlier.
mid 2000s.
Could be. The original anime series,
Actually, the original anime series
Says
must have been before 2009.
2006.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But anyways,
That was the
I don't know. I thought it was
anime.
pretty good. I can literally hear the opening song in my head right now.
Oh, it was so good.
It was very good.
Oh God, yeah.
Anyways, I think I'm interested in seeing this first episode when we get around to the first episode review, but I don't really think it's going to be that good.
We'll
But
see.
tis the season.
Obviously, more good anime is a good thing. I have low expectations, but I am happy to be proven wrong.
Very fair. Very fair. So our last pick for the season is Kokyu no Karasu by Bandai Namco Pictures. Ooh, a Bandai one. And it is a mystery. Deep within the inner palace lives a special consort who does not serve the emperor despite her position as a consort. She is known as the Raven Consort. People who have seen her say she looks like an old woman, while others say she looks like a young girl. Stories tell of her use of mysterious arts and how she can take on any request, be it death curses or finding lost things. Koshun, the current emperor, goes to visit the Raven Consort with that intention, without knowing that their fated meeting will become a taboo that will overturn history.
Huh.
There's a lot of mystery going on here. Like, cool, there's going to be something supernatural going on, but the poster looks so like light and airy and
Yeah, the poster almost looks like a
harem
shoujo anime.
Well, it looks like it sort of takes place, in that period. I don't know my
Sengoku period?
Japanese history. Sure, whatever.
maybe something older.
But
I can't tell
like-
entirely from their clothing which era it might be, but it's
The
definitely going to be
art
more like
style.
period history.
Yeah, the art style looks quite nice, I think.
Yeah.
I can vibe with
beautiful.
the art style. It's very soft, very flowery. The character designs look kind of cool. I basically have nothing to go on as far as my expectations for this.
Nope, me neither.
I really don't know what's going on. Maybe I could have watched the trailer before we decided to talk about it. That might have been a smart thing to do.
I posted
it
the
is-
trailer.
It's by Bandai, and I feel like that sets my expectations at least at the animation's still gonna look really nice. Don't know anything about the writing though.
I'm not much for, let's say, like historical, but I don't think this will delve into historical that much. I think it's mostly just a setting for this to take place in. I'm very intrigued, mostly on the art alone, to be honest. The synopsis obviously aids that, but I think there's a lot going on that could be very interesting. It reminds me of maybe a more serious Triple X Holic somehow.
Okay. That's a name that I haven't thought about in like 15 years, but okay.
Right?
Are you either of you familiar with Triple X Holic?
All I know is that it's the definition of clamp proportions.
You're not wrong, but like basically, oh god, I can't remember her name. I can't remember anyone's name anymore. I think it's Yuko or something like that. The main sort of proprietor, the madame of this supernatural parlor. She can like access other dimensions and has like sort of reaches into different clamp universes and whatnot. But basically, they are also sort of a, let's say, request fulfilling organization. That's sort of very, it's got that same gothic, I want to say, vibe. Obviously, this one is not gothic, but it gives off its own sort of, you know what I mean?
What's interesting, you say that there was a mystery anime like 2 or 3 years back featuring like a gothic Lolita detective.
Was that good?
No.
No.
Shame.
My rubric or my requirement of a mystery story is that I have to be able to solve the mystery, or
Before?
it does have to. It has to feel complete. Like,
okay,
one mystery type of anime that I loved the anime, but I hated the mystery aspect of it was Fate Rail Zeppelin, the waiver Fate series. And my problem there was he was playing like a Sherlock Holmes role. But the problem was, as the viewer, there's no way in hell, literally no way in hell, that the viewer would have ever been able to solve the mysteries on their own, because there's so much magical bullshit behind it that the series itself waves away. You're basically there just to be on a roller coaster, on a ride, to enjoy the characters doing their things. And while I did enjoy that, I felt cheated on the mystery aspect. One anime that did things a little bit better, I can't remember the name of it, but it's getting a second season. But it has like a detective girl who, I think she can see ghosts. It's not The Detective Is Already Dead. That one had like a strong first episode and fell off after that. Oh God, I can't remember it at all.
Is it a show that maybe we reviewed? Like, was it?
Yes, I think we actually did.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
A girl
it's
with a
little bit more...
white bonnet and like some pale pastel brown hair. She has a cane. She has a helper friend. And that one was a little bit more satisfying on the mystery side of things, but fell short on the overall story, unfortunately. This one could be good, but when it comes to mystery stuff, you never really know if it's good until they handle the payoff, right?
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is that we'll be watching one episode and I don't know if it'll be enough to actually set up any details or a premise. Like, I worry that they'll spend the first episode just introducing the characters and not introducing the mystery.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was worried about. But it might be enticing enough still, even if, you don't get like the beginner level mystery first 2 episode kind of thing hook that we might be wanting. Hopefully it's just good enough to like tip the scale to be like, oh, I'll watch an episode 2 and episode 3 kind of thing. But there's definitely a major danger of just like, oh, this is, I don't know where this is going and I don't care enough to follow. So
one thing that I actually really liked recently, as far as mystery media goes, Dio messaged me one day, is like, oh my God, Knives Out 2 is coming out. And I was like, what is Knives Out? I've never heard of this before. So we watched this movie, and it actually laid out the murder mystery plot and solved the murder mystery plot in the first 45 minutes.
Wait, what?
But then there is, okay, how is the character going to get away with the plot? And then there was a deeper hidden mystery plot. There was layers of mystery plots. There was an entire ogre's worth of layers of mystery plots. This was the Shrek of mystery plots, I'm telling you what.
Jeez.
It was ridiculous. And while the first mystery was laying out, you could kind of start like playing along with it. Like that's what a mystery show or movie has to be to me. It has to be a game that you can play along with and try to guess what's going on. And certain things like Knives Out did a fantastic job of that. And because it kept on introducing new plot points, it was able to solve mysteries along the way and give you that feedback. It wasn't holding everything back until like the last 10 minutes of the movie. It was like, okay, half an hour has gone by. Here's some feedback. Here's some payoff. Oh, another 15 minutes have gone by. Here's more payoff. Were you right? Were you wrong? Was that a question that you had? And that's what, for me, that's what I need the mystery to do. Like, I want to be able to play along, but I need that payoff. I need that drip feed of spoon feeding almost.
Right. But you don't want to feel smarter than the show either. Like, you don't want to be like, oh, I saw that coming. Oh, I knew that was going to be the case.
Exactly.
Because then you feel like, well, it's already played out in your head. So
I want the mix of being able to guess what was going on, as well as sometimes I want to be right, but sometimes I actually want to be wrong, but for reasons that I could have guessed.
Little smart, little stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's good. I think that's a reasonable expectation. And I think you can largely agree, because you don't really want to be like, oh, it was the butler the whole time, and I already knew it was the butler, and I don't know why I'm watching this anymore. So
yeah, if I go into this being like, aha, I figured out the mystery. Kyokyu means consort and Karasu means raven. I'm so smart.
So smart.
If that's as tough as the mystery is, then I'm not going to like it. But I'm cautiously optimistic.
Like I said, it really depends on how much they give us in that first episode. If it turns out being compelling enough, watch the whole thing and we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the season. But it could end up being a really disappointing one that falls flat, or it could be really good.
They gotta hook us.
I hope that we picked at least one good one. I'm actually more I think out of everything that we've talked about, the Gundam anime might actually be the most interesting thing, and I didn't expect that.
Really? I'm hopeful on it. The last couple brand new Gundam anime that I watched, I think Reconquista in G was one that I had really high hopes for, and it really let me down. And then another more lighthearted Gundam series, part of me wants to say it wasn't a new series. Not at all. But Turn A Gundam is a lot of people's favorites because it's a more fantasy style driven Gundam, whereas a lot of the other ones are not. And I loved the setting of Turn A Gundam, but the story left me wanting. I really want to enjoy this one because I've started playing the Gundam Overwatch game. So I'm really deep into Gundam right now. It's got its hooks into me deep.
Does that mean you're not going to play Apex with me anymore?
I will. I will.
Coward style.
I'm trying to make more time for gaming in my life.
Fair enough. Oh, we could go on. We could go on. If we talked about gaming now, we would have another episode or two worth of material. So that's why we're going to cut off here.
Next time, 30-year-olds trying to be good at video games.
Oh, boy.
That's an anime, right? Oh, that'd be a great anime.
Shonen, Eternal Gamers, mature gamer project.
Exactly. It's just a bunch of like, they used to be pretty good. They used to be maybe like semi-pro, esports gamers, and then they try to get back into it, and they realize that they can't keep up with the 14-year-olds that have so much time on their hands.
Yeah. The whole anime would balance around the 30-year-olds trying to take care of their kids and their job while also being good at video games.
True.
Yep.
God.
There will also be a very topical rant in there somewhere about how We wish that there was a tutorial that reminds you how the game works and how far you've gone so that you can continue without just restarting the whole thing.
I just want
God.
games to come with instruction books again. Not because I want the instructions, but because I
I like
remember
the
the
art in the
smell.
instruction book.
The smell of an instruction
The
booklet.
smell of a fresh
from the
CD
box.
booklet.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Anyway,
Okay, goodbye.
No time for booklets.
see you next time.
Only times for goodbyes.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.